Hello, and welcome back to The Wolf Among Us. I'm your host, the Social Solipsist, and last time we had a run-in with Tweedledee and Tweedledum and apparently Bloody Mary. Whoever that is. I don't know either. So we're gonna see where this goes. I was genuinely mad coming off. I mean, it was pretty apparent, I think, coming off that last episode. So I hope that it levels out or goes up from here. Just anything to not, have whatever that nonsense was continue. Yeah, it did not make me hopeful for the remainder of the game. Admittedly, Telltale does have a tendency to have some distinctly bad writing problems right in the middle of their games. So it could be partially that. I guess we'll see. You can't see me shrug, but I'm shrugging. Okay, before we get into episode 4, let's go. We've already looked at the Book of Fables entries, but I need to address the ones that I have missed, because by popular request, they need to be read. So let's see, we've got these two, which is Bigby's Vengeance, and then I forget what this one was, and then I'll read these other two. So let me tab out. We're gonna lose the music while I do that, and I'm gonna pull up the entries so that you guys can hear them. Okay, so let's see. We have... Right. I actually can't even remember, because it's been a little while, whether I read the entries for the missing entries in episode 1 and 2. Actually, I believe I didn't. So let me just read them out. I think I posted them, but I didn't read them out. So, the missing one in episode 1 is Bigby's Vengeance. The entry says, long ago in the homelands, the North Wind fell in love with a blazing white she-wolf. Taking canine form, he courted her and stayed by her side for 2 seasons. However, the wind, by nature, must change direction, and North's temperament carried him back to his wintry castle. The she-wolf was heartbroken, and soon after her lover fled, she gave birth to a litter of cubs, including the one that would become the big bad wolf of legend. Watching his mother die of sadness and unrequited love, young Bigby swore vengeance against the capricious North Wind. 7 times the beast journeyed to the great castle, but was no match for the elemental might of his father. Having failed to taste vengeance, he swore to think no more of his dead mother or loathsome father. Buried hatred, however, is seldom forgotten. That is an interesting take on the origin of the big bad wolf. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, but it's interesting at least. Heavily mythological rather than, being storybook-esque. Even the Grimm's version is pretty, I don't want to say cheery, but it's jaunty. Is that fair? I don't know. Okay, so the first entry in chapter 2 that we missed is Ichabod's Denial. Actually, I should read the context for both of these as well. Bigby's Vengeance is unlocked by choosing to rip off Grendel's arm while fighting him in the Trip Trap in episode 1. Ichabod's Denial is earned for being violent during Bigby's interrogation. In our case, we interrogated Tweedledee. You can be interrogating the woodsman also if you happen to go after him during the episode 1 choice. Which, it's interesting that they put both in, but also probably highlights how meaningless the whole encounter is. At least the direct narrative. Maybe the meta narrative is a bit more meaningful in terms of seeing how both Ichabod and Bluebeard react, but I digress. So Ichabod's Denial. During his days in Sleepy Hollow, Ichabod Crane fell in love with a wealthy young woman named Katrina von Tressel. She was beautiful and very rich, but that meant she also caught the attention of another suitor, Abraham Brom van Brunt. As Ichabod's rival, Brom would plan nasty pranks in order to humiliate the often superstitious schoolteacher. Despite Brom's plots to win Katerina over, Ichabod believed he would be chosen as her favorite. After a party at her father's home, Ichabod proposed to Katrina and it's Katrina. Katrina, and was very quickly rejected. He immediately rode off in shame and was never seen in Sleepy Hollow again. According to Crane, he was chased out of town by the Headless Horseman, but in reality, it was probably just another one of Brom's pranks. I don't know enough about the Headless Horseman and Sleepy Hollow to comment on that one, but interesting enough. Fits with his character. Okay, so episode 3. We have the Headless Horseman, also known as the Hessian Spirit. Earned for examining the statue of him in Crane's apartment during a crooked mile. He is based on the main antagonist of Sleepy Hollow. Yeah. So, I mean, we didn't go to Crane's apartment first, so I guess we just missed that. Either that, or it did another one of those things we usually do, that usually happens that pisses me off, where I don't get to see the whole game because the game decides I don't get to see it. Entry says, thought to be the spirit of a particularly fearsome, especially macabre German military contractor, the Headless Horseman lost his head from cannon fire during the Revolutionary War. Most famous for hounding Ichabod Crane one night in the woods of Sleepy Hollow, it is rumored that this phantom is only the most recent incarnation of a primordial demon, whose previous forms include a middle-aged chieftain who brandished a whip made from human bone, and a Scottish lord who was decapitated in a fight over shares of land. Okay. Don't know that bears any more comment. And what's the last one here? Okay, the Glamour Tree, subtitled The Last Seed. During the confrontation of the witch, Snow decides that the tree is too powerful to leave with Greenleaf, considering the damage it has caused thus far, and orders Bigby to destroy it. Bigby can then do so, leave Greenleaf to her business, or hire... I can just leave... I don't even remember if I realized that I could just leave her alone. It actually doesn't say what brings that to light. I did look at it. Oh, hold on. Here it is. This is formatted poorly. Stupid wiki. To unlock this Book of Fables entry, Bigby has to burn the tree when ordered to do so by Snow. Grown from a seed spirited away from her family's enchanted orchard, this tree is the sole remaining source of Auntie Greenleaf's magical enchantments. Its bark is used for glamour tubes, its leaves are crushed for ointments and spells, and its twigs and sticks can be used as rods for a variety of entrancing purposes. Well, I gotta say, some of those entries were a wee bit underwhelming. But my public requests, and I provide. So, with that all said and done, let's get started with episode 4, which we are not going to look at the... Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Because I forgot that this stupid thing doesn't show up as a button. As usual for The Wolf Among Us, I am drinking a whiskey, because it has to be whiskey. I'm drinking rye.
It's as simple as that.
Do you have any idea how much it costs to have an entire family in glamour?
I can't finish the mirror. It's missing a piece.
Crane must have taken a shard with him. The open arms.
Enjoy your stay.
Thanks, Bigby. And thanks for covering for me last time, too.
Bigby?
How could you do this to me? I guess I finally see you for who you are. Tell me who did it. Just tell me who did it. I know you know.
I don't think he did it.
What?
Look at him. Do you really think this man murdered these women?
You know, this scene plays a lot better when I'm not having to hammer
It's a good show. But
buttons the whole time.
just take him.
It's
okay?
still dumb,
Take Crane.
but at least it's not miserable.
Well, this is going to be a beautiful relationship we have with you guys.
Oh yeah, and then she
Really.
broke my arm because she's a horrible bitch.
Out with the old, in with the new. Long live the queen.
What is that even supposed to mean? She's clearly not in charge. She's clearly like a top tier enforcer. Is my arm just okay now? That sounds like a... Oh boy.
See you around.
Yeah, I figured it was a dream.
Hollow point bullets are a nasty business. The silver slug deformed and shredded on impact.
He'll be okay, though.
Hmm?
He'll be okay?
His internal organs are positively riddled. If I don't extract every single scrap of silver, he's liable to suffer some long-term toxicosis.
From silver?
Easy there. Try not to move.
Bigby.
We can't keep meeting this way, old boy. I figured I'd be done before you were conscious, but there's little I can do for the pain. Just stay still and let me finish.
Please, Bigby, don't move it. Doctor.
Look, I'm a bit engaged saving his life at the moment, but if the fractured extremity concerns him that much, he can set it himself.
Boy. Thanks, asshole. Real nice bedside manner there. No, you do not do this.
See now? That wasn't so difficult, was it?
Wow, it really didn't give me much of a chance to start hammering Q.
That'll do. You're probably better off. This way I won't have to reset it later. He's lucky to be alive. And he won't be next time.
Wait,
if
he
keeps
was
going
just
like
very
this.
dismissive about
didn't
me
listen to
setting the
before.
arm and then...
Maybe he'll listen to you.
I don't know about that.
Well, he should. There are limits to what even I can do.
It's not like I asked for this shit to happen.
Yes, but it's not like you actively discouraged it either.
What is your deal, man? I'm doing my best. I don't see you with bullet wounds.
Excuse me, Miss White, but perhaps it'd be better if you gave me a few minutes to finish with him.
No, piss off, doctor.
I think I should stay. At least until he's out of the woods.
But
Bigby couldn't be in better hands. And I need the space to work, so if you wouldn't mind.
Stick around, all right? I don't know if I trust this guy.
Oh, please, I could do this with my optic nerve severed. We'll be done in a moment. Just please, give us the time.
I'm still suspicious of Snow, but I still
How
think
much longer?
Colin, leave him be.
It's finished when it's finished.
Colin wants my
I once
fucking
watched a
seat.
vet sew a turtle together in 10 minutes flat.
Colin, you're not even supposed to be here right now.
Oh, really? Where am I supposed to be? I'm here to take care of my friend.
With what? Your hooves?
Hey, listen,
Please,
lady.
keep it down back there. Thank you.
What is the point of having a reaction there?
All done.
Great.
How much
This is
shrapnel
a
could there
habit you should
possibly...
keep, having visits with me, and, well, this time was no joke. Eat as many metal shellings as you see fit, but take just one more silver round near your heart, and the only place I'll be visiting you is the morgue.
How does that make sense?
Miss White, he'll be fine for light duty, if he can figure out what that means.
He knows what it means. It's just been an unusual couple of days.
Hold on. Okay, I have problems with the medical side of things, and let me first say that I'm no sort of medical expert, but I did study quite a bit of biology. I did study anatomy and physiology, and I know a bit of mythology. So I thought the implication here was that the silver was a problem because of some allusion to him being a werewolf, right? But that is apparently not, at least not explicitly, the case. The doctor also says silver near your heart, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because this wound was not even remotely near my heart. So why, other than the fact that my heart is an important organ, I don't know why he specifies about the heart. Unless I could have potentially been shot somewhere else in that scene and it was poorly assembled afterwards. Then there's the problem of his supposed medical explanation for toxicosis, which, you can get all kinds of nasty infections and toxic things from any foreign object being in your body, obviously. But of all the metals to have in your body, as far as I'm aware, silver is generally not that high on the risk list. At least not in terms of immediate death or long-term damage just for having it inside of you for an extra couple of minutes, which is sort of what he was being a jackass about. Although I guess he did say if he missed a piece. But yeah, I'm going to have to check that one myself, but it bothers me. There's so many other materials that I think other metals that I'd like to have in my body less. And most of those metals go into typical bullets. Things like copper and lead and non-alloyed steel that will rust and definitely give you some sort of toxicosis. And then there's the problem of it being a hollow point, which I am no firearms expert, but it's something I'm interested in a engineering sense. And typically hollow point bullets are shaped and shelled in a way such that they cause extra internal trauma on impact. They're for non-armored targets, basically for causing lethal damage to humans without body armor. Except it's being fired out of what appeared to be an anaconda or a python, some sort of heavy barreled large gauge revolver, which is problem number one, because at short range it's going to behave differently. Then there's the fact that if you are making it out of silver, the way that it deforms, the way a hollow point deforms upon impact with flesh, typically has to do with the fact that it is uneven. Well, one, it has to do with the shape, but it also has to do with how the metal is formed. It's typically not a single material. It's typically a perforated outer shell with an inner material, usually lead, that deforms more readily. So basically you have, a part that holds the lead together and then the lead that shreds apart. That's neither here nor there, but if the implication is this was a pure silver bullet, it doesn't make a lot of sense that a hollow point would be necessarily dramatically worse, but I'm really being nitpicky about that at this point. I don't know. The whole thing is... that whole scene in which all of this happened was such a shit show that I don't even know why I'm trying to rationalize his stupid nonsense here. It's another case of like, don't be specific if you don't know what you're talking about. And again, somebody will probably correct me in the comments, or I will correct myself directly after to say, oh, I was wrong about this, that, or the other thing. But like, I don't think that's quite right. And for someone as obsessive as me, yeah, sorry, more tangents.
No, but please, don't give him the excuse. His body will eventually give out. Take care of him, please.
I will. He'll need rest, I assume?
Sleep mostly. Just keep watch, and make sure he doesn't get into further altercations.
Snow has enough to deal with, Swinehart. I can take care of myself.
Clearly. Anyways, guard against, as they say. Miss White, Sheriff, Colin.
Swiney.
So, how do you, feel?
Is that just in the
It's
fridge with the
Bigby,
cap
Snow.
off?
He'll be okay. Hell, I seen him take worse.
Not much worse.
Well, I guess that didn't take. That's fine. Silence
I'm
was
glad
my
you're
second
not dead.
option. That's the
You
thing, I'm really
have-
suspicious of Snow, but
you
this
stopped
seems
breathing,
very
you know?
genuine.
When you passed out or died, I guess.
Please don't romance this.
It kind of scared the hell out of me.
Can we just be
I've
platonic
never
friends?
seen you like that. And when Swinehart arrived, you know him, he's never worried. And even he thought you were... I don't know. It was just awful.
You were really worried about me?
That was a little too lovey-dovey a response.
Yeah, you were really fucked up, man. You look like when you take an action figure and bend its limbs the wrong way.
Colin,
Colin, you're a
Just saying, I
jackass, but that
worried
was pretty
about him,
funny.
Sloan. The guy hasn't had a night's rest in days.
we'll all get some rest when this whole thing is done.
What whole thing? What's even happening out there? I mean,
Colin,
do you guys have like a plan or
Jesus.
something? And who should I be asking? Should I be worried about the Crooked Man taking over? Or is Crane still the thing?
The Crooked Man came out of the shadows for a reason. For him to attack us so blatantly like that. He either feels invincible or desperate.
Well, if those are my two options, I don't think I'd pick desperate.
What do you mean?
You traded Crane to save Bigby. I'm just saying, that's not exactly something you do when you're playing with house money.
So he called my bluff. It's not like I'm gonna let Bloody Mary just murder. It was a split-second decision, and I don't care how it looked.
Yeah, about that. Giving up Crane to save my skin really made us look weak.
That made us look weak.
That was a little more
Or would not
accusatory than
Mary
I
shooting
intended.
you and holding an axe to your big head.
Look, I'm not saying it was a good day. Just that we could have done without all the bargaining at the end. The Crooked Man's gonna think...
I don't care what he thinks. It was the only option.
No,
All
no,
I
you
care
let
about
your
right
feelings
now
get in the
is-
middle of your job.
Just what does the Crooked Man want out of this? I thought he was just a loan shark, but clearly he's operating in other circles. It can't just be about Crane, right? Getting him out of town? Is this all about the murders? Crane can't be useful to him anymore. So what could this have to do with Faith and Lily? How long has this stuff been going on?
Crane was a puppet, and the Crooked Man worked the strings. This is all about control of Fabletown.
But then what do prostitutes have to do with it? Lily and Faith?
Because they're magically
I don't know how
prevented
it all
from
works out
speaking
yet,
about
but
what they
I know it does. Somehow.
know about.
The Crooked Man declared war against us last night. At least that's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, if they were so willing to
But
kill
now
us,
I see
why
this
didn't they
war
kill
has been
all of
going
us?
on for years.
I don't
We
think
just
that will
haven't
ever...
noticed it
I don't
because
think
our
there
way of
is a
doing things
possible
is
explanation for that.
We need to do things
Unless Snow
right
is
What does that mean? The right
not on the up and up.
What do you think I mean?
I don't know, but it suspiciously sounds like your way. Bigby's the one on the front lines.
Excuse me.
You can't give him a leash. He doesn't work that way.
A little restraint and thought behind things will never hurt anyone, Colin.
Look, I know things haven't gone great recently, but we're still doing our best.
That's not good enough.
What the fuck does that mean?
So,
what do you
starting
want?
Now,
What the fuck do you want from me?
everything cut and dried. By the book. Straight as an arrow.
Pure as driven snow.
I'm not saying I'm the arbiter of...
Sure you're not.
Colin has a point.
This town has enough monsters. What happened last night, what you turned into, it can't happen again.
We need monsters to fight monsters.
Colin, if I really believed that we needed him to lose his flippin' mind at a moment's notice, then that would mean I'd lost all faith in our ability to help this town. Just let that side of you be done, okay?
I'm sure from your vantage point, it's extraordinarily easy to judge me.
Bigby.
But you sit behind a desk all day. And only tonight did you see what it's like to be pushed into a corner all the time just for doing your job.
You think I don't know what it's like to have my life in danger? To not be pushed to do things? I know what it's like. And I know what it's like to lie to yourself. To justify what you've done.
You know a
So
version
don't
of
talk
it.
to me like I'm other people. Look, Bigby, I care about how this is
No,
done
no, no, no,
just
no,
as
no.
much
You
as I
can't.
care about it.
You can't just deliver that line and then not follow it up. I'm not... Bigby would not shut up about... My Bigby would not shut up in response to that. He'd go, oh yeah, fucking tell me. Tell me about it. Tell me what it's like to turn into a monster. Why don't you? And then she'd have to follow up on it. Because we've had hints of this before, but it refuses to be addressed. And who was it? The blonde, short-haired prostitute, I think, whose name I'm forgetting. I think at the funeral, she mentioned, hey, don't push Snow, she's been through shit, or something like that, which is all well and good, but like, you can't, I mean, from a narrative perspective, you can't do that because it falls through if you never follow up on it. And from a writing perspective, you can't do that because if you never follow through on it, then it's just a nonsense red herring that lets you like get away with whatever you want to write in the future and pretend like the character, because you're writing both sides of this fight, right? You're writing them imbalanced. You're writing one to win when they shouldn't, right? This fight should end in, hey Snow, what the fuck is up with you? What happened to you like 500 years ago or 300 years ago, whatever it was, and why has it not come up before now? And why do I not know, despite the fact that I've probably worked with you for hundreds of years? This whole thing really starts to fall apart the more like you pull at the loose threads.
Getting done.
So for that, you want to give him a handicap? Like the bad guys will worry if shit gets sloppy. Everybody wants Bigby to smile and shave and take a shower now and then. Hell, I'm practically the president of the Bigby Don't Be Such a Dick Club. But this is the wrong fucking time to put shackles on him. He'll get the job done. Just let him do it.
I'm going to let you do it, okay? It's just that now that I'm deputy mayor, I need your respect.
No. That's not what respect
and this
is.
Situation has to end.
What situation?
All unglamored fables starting today have to go and stay at the farm.
Oh, give me a fucking break.
For what fucking reason?
Are you gonna let her talk to me like that?
It's been the rule for a reason, Colin. And Bigby knows it's for the best of the town. It keeps everybody out of trouble.
No,
and
what?
What if a Mundy does see me, huh?
We've had
I'm
no
a pig,
we've
not a
had
mouse
no
with a
interaction
hat
with the
and a
Mundys
cane.
aside
They
from
know what a pig is.
Snow's
It's not the end of
supposed
the
head,
world.
which
That's not gonna happen.
Yes, it will.
It's an impossible rule to enforce, Snow. You really expect to round up every talking cat and raven in town?
There's not that many
With what
stragglers
army?
left, except the one or two you make excuses for.
See, again, this falls apart when you're picking apart the like what we've seen, which is that this, despite the original premise, which seemed to imply that it was limited to like one street or one block or something like that, seems to instead, like, the more we go into this game, the more it seems to suggest that there are fables spread out all over the borough or all over New York, like all over the city. You know, it's like how many fucking fables are there? It's got to be in the hundreds, right? And they're spread out, and we have no register of them, or no official complete register. So what kind of fucking accusation is that? Also, where's my fucking backup? It's just, apparently, it's just me and you and like two other dopes that we saw in the hallway of the so-called sheriff's station or police station or whatever, the enforcement bureau, whatever they want to call it. I don't see anybody else walking the beat, and I'm the quote-unquote fucking sheriff, so what do you want?
Wolf's residence.
That's rude.
Oh, Buffkin, what is it?
Yeah, it is pretty
Okay,
rude to answer somebody
I'll let
else's
him know.
phone.
Thanks. Guess who's waiting in your office right now? Nerissa.
Nerissa?
That broad from the puddin' and pie?
Yes. Apparently, she told Buffkin that she has something she needs to talk to you about. But that she'll only tell you.
Almost like I'm
What
the
do you
only
think that
not
could be?
asshole around here.
Bigby's got an admirer. You always do well with the disenfranchised. Something about your prickly demeanor attracts him like a moth to a flame.
Oh,
She
shut
probably
up,
just
Colin.
wants to talk about last night. The whole thing at the pudding and pie.
Maybe. I should get back to the business office. I've left Buffkin alone for too long taking calls. And I should probably change out of these clothes. Consider the discussion tabled, but not over. Let me know when you're done with Nerissa.
Aye, aye, Captain. She's a piece of work.
Yeah, there's no
Hey,
chain of command
you're not
here.
really
That's
gonna
fucked
send me
up.
to the
How did
farm, are
she, who appointed her
I mean,
deputy mayor?
She seemed real serious about it, but I can still hang out here, right? After everything we fucking
What?
been through, you don't have the nerve to give me a straight answer.
Boy, that... What is Colin gonna do? What the fuck is Colin gonna do? I mean, that's not even the answer I wanted to give, but... Seriously, what is Colin gonna do? Security office. Not sheriff's office. Security office. Like it's a fucking mall. Well, we've already been... This is already... We're already more than a half an hour into this episode, so I might cut the episode at the end of the credits here. I wasn't sure how I wanted to continue to play this. I know on some occasions I haven't had a lot to say, or I just enjoy taking in the game, but like I have some complaints now and I can't hold them back. So let me know. Well, I guess we've only got like 1 or 2 episodes more after this, but yeah. Next time, I guess we'll see what Nerissa has to say. Obviously, I was throwing Snow off the scent a little. She seems a little jealous, and obviously her feelings for Bigby are not entirely platonic, or at least not entirely professional. So, in terms of just, let's hear what Nerissa has to say and try not to, you know, I can't trust anybody, right? Bigby just can't trust that anybody's on the up and up at this point. He's the lone wolf. Anyway. Yeah, we'll see about that next time.